Hi and welcome to the Great Day Out. Well, if you live in Brisbane like me, you'll know that we're very spoilt when it comes to day trip destinations. But you don't have to travel far to find a little gem of a spot. 20 minutes, in fact, gets you to the bayside villages of Sandgate and Shawn Cliff. There are so many treasures to discover here, and I'll show you around a little bit later in the show. In the meantime, Jill uncovers all that's new in West End's art scene.
The core of what we really believe in is to create something that's whimsical and a bit magical.
We take a boozy tour of inner city Brisbane.
It's a beer that's there to sort of accompany you on your best moments, your best times of your life.
But first, here's Tamsyn.
For me, a great tour has to tick a few boxes. It needs to show me something new, allow me to kick back and relax, and most importantly, have minimal impact on our environment.
I'm glad to say that Eco River Rides manages to tick those boxes and a few others as well. It operates on the Sunshine Coast and explores the Maroochy River wetlands in solar-powered canoes.
So off one charge, you can go 50 kilometres.
50 kilometres, or up to 6 or 7 hours of cruising.
The canoes can fit up to 4 people and the tours are self-guided. Guests are provided with detailed maps and information booklets so they can head off exploring with confidence.
You can get out and get close to nature, but you don't have to do the strenuous hard work. We've got a paddle, just in case we break down. But you know, it's just opening up a whole new market for a lot of people that just wouldn't consider a canoe tour.
Today, Brett is kindly showing me the journey he's designed for guests. It covers 10 kilometres and takes about 3 hours. And thanks to the solar-powered engine, it's a breeze.
We'd be tired by now, but you know, we're right here in the middle of it, taking it easy. You're sitting in the shade.
Yep.
It's nice.
I'm guessing you must get pretty amazing feedback about this tour.
Yeah, that's one of the best things when you see a boatload of people come back with a big smile on their face because they really know that they have done something really different.
How good is this? It's so peaceful. You basically feel like you're one with nature.
The Wetland Sanctuary is just 5 kilometres from the Maroochydore CBD, but you could be a million miles from anywhere.
I think the best thing about this, Brett, is just how untouched it is.
Yeah, there's no one here.
No.
Okay, Tamsyn, it's time for you to be skipper. Come on over.
Love it. See, it's easy. Even I can do it.
Brett's tour not only explores the sanctuary by water, but on foot as well.
Bit of dry land.
Bit of dry land.
You didn't get seasick, did you?
Loved it out there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Where does the boardwalk head to, Brett?
It's about a 900-metre walk to the information centre.
Yep.
But there's quite a lot to see along the way.
Like a few fiddler crabs going about their business.
There's one coming out of the hole there. Can you see that bigger one?
Yes.
Yeah, with the big claw. So they use that for warding off other men and, of course, for trying to impress the ladies, of course.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
The crab viewing platform is just one feature along the boardwalk that visitors can discover with a walking guide provided by Brett. Eventually, the boardwalk brings walkers to the Wetlands Interpretive Centre, which is staffed on weekends by volunteers.
Oh, look at this. Hi. Good morning. Welcome to the wetland.
There's plenty to enjoy at the centre, including the cool micro-eye microscope.
Oh, how good is this?
It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not only for the kids. It's for the big kids.
No, the big kids too.
Deborah's been a volunteer for over 30 years and is passionate about protecting the sanctuary for future generations.
And the importance is just overwhelming. We have to look after where we live and who lives here and what lives here.
To explore this beautiful sanctuary on the Sunshine Coast, head out with Eco River Rides. For all the details, head to our website.
The pretty seaside village of Sandgate has been luring day trippers for over 130 years. It's a town rich in history with beautiful old houses and buildings dotting the streets, many of which are filled with an eclectic assortment of shops, cafes and boutiques. The iconic roundabout next to the town hall is a popular spot for a brew, a bite or a browse. But venture around the corner onto Rainbow Street and you'll find a pot of gold. I don't think I've ever seen a prettier rustic shed. Old Favourites is a treasure trove of farmhouse, country style and vintage homewares. Rachel, this is just such a beautiful shed.
It is a shed. It's a gorgeous 100-year-old shed. It's beautiful.
It's got a lovely feel to it. I mean, I know it's homewares, but it's a little bit of everything.
It is, absolutely. And I think that's part of the charm. People still have an absolute love for everything vintage. There's also a resurgence of a love for farmhouse and country style, and we try and have a little bit of all of that. The furniture that we have in here, we've got some old, some new. I love buying old pieces of furniture and doing them up, and that's a big part of how my business began, actually. Giving them a new lease on life, a new chapter in their life, and the homewares kind of just fit in with that, and yeah, it's good.
The original building next door has also been given a new lease on life. Some of you may remember this as the old convenience store. Now you'll find the Wired Owl, a popular spot for locals to get their caffeine fix. And newly renovated Saltwater Cafe is a great place for a bite on any day trip.
We have great neighbours, and that's the beauty of this corner. We're just the package deal. So you can come and have a great coffee, like the best coffee on the north side of Brisbane by far. You can have a great lunch and breakfast at Saltwater. So the Wired Owl, Saltwater, and then you can come and have a browse around our little homewares here and pick up a few cute things. And yeah, it's a destination for the weekend, definitely.
And later in the show, I'll give you a few more weekend ideas for your next trip to the Bay.
Milton's a great little spot. Lots going on. We've got Suncorp Stadium over the road. Couldn't get much of a bigger icon than that in Milton. We've got Caxton Street just up the road. Obviously lots going on up there the whole time, and Park Road is coming on leaps and bounds for things to do. We're Newstead Brewing Co. We've been open for just over a year here on Castlemaine Street. Predominantly we brew beer, but of course we've got this wonderful venue to showcase our products. So all of the Newstead Brewing Co. cans that you see out there in bottle shops, 100% of those come out of this brewery here behind me. We do 6 beers and a cider. A couple of the standout beers for me personally are the IPA, the India Pale Ale, it's my favourite. And then we've got our Session Ale. But most recently we've just unveiled our 1909, which is a coastal ale, our partnership beer with Surf Life Saving Queensland. Yeah, lunch trade here is predominantly aimed at the locals, the local businesses, as well as local residents. It's what we call good pub grub. Standouts for me on the menu will be the range of pizzas, as well as the steak sandwich and the chicken burger. People are actually quite surprised that there's more than one brewery in Milton.
This is the 4X Brewery in Milton. The brewery itself is obviously an iconic location, been around for 140 years this year. It's actually our anniversary. You know, there's a lot of passion on the ground from the locals about this space. People have grown up their entire lives driving past this brewery. We're really proud here at the Ale House to be able to open the gates to the general public and allow people to come in and have a look at what we do here and how we do it. Obviously enjoy a beer and a bite to eat as well. We can actually fill 29 cans per second. We can fill 890 stubbies per machine per minute. So it's a pretty amazing amount of beer that's being brewed here. Beer is so important to Queenslanders as well. It's really cool to be a part of such a historically relevant brewery and such an iconic space.
We're Ether. We're at 35 Railway Terrace. We're literally underneath the 4X banner just behind us in the foothills. So yeah, when they're mashing in, we can smell them every morning. It's really good. Top 3 with the IPA, it's quite a piney resinous beer. The Pit Stop Pale Ale, and we do a lot of seasonal stuff also, so there's always forever changing taps here. It keeps things interesting. We're all one tight little community. Having everyone so close is fantastic. Having the guys like Newstead around the corner, Scratch Bar, Mongrel, everybody sort of backs off each other. Yeah, cheers to Milton.
The Peters Ice Cream Factory in Brisbane's West End has been an iconic landmark since the 1920s.
While the days of making icy poles and frosty fruits are sadly over here, the building's found a new purpose, showcasing the suburb's arty side.
West Village is an exciting new dining, shopping and lifestyle hub inspired by the character and history of West End. So it comes as no surprise that there's a bit of creative flair around almost every corner.
Let me take you through to the full scope of the gallery.
The Bromley Room is an incredible event space and shopfront created by Yugi and her well-known artist partner David Bromley, otherwise known as Bromley & Co.
I guess the core of what we really believe in is to create spaces that sort of take you away from the everyday, something that's whimsical and a bit magical, and we always gauge a good space by people just coming in and going, God.
There's certainly no shortage of oohs and ahs here. The space is filled with unique pieces created by David and Yugi, including portraits of the tradies who worked on site.
So why West End? Why is this the home for the Bromley Room?
You see a sense of cultural immersion, and I know there are other, art spaces along the strip. So for us, it instantly felt at home.
The Josh Milani Gallery recently found its new home here in West End in late 2018. The gallery specialises in contemporary Australian art. As well as the main gallery, there's an unconventional art space downstairs.
Hello?
In here.
Hello.
The car park, fittingly named, is a space for emerging artists to showcase their work. Local artist Sunchintia has her latest exhibition, Natal Cooley, on display.
This work draws from my own family story. So my family were brought over from South India to South Africa as indentured labourers. So for me, telling these stories was really important because there's a lot of shame surrounding this history, but it's the history of my family and my communities. I think it's a very interesting and different space not having it on the white walls, in particular because the work is looking at a story that's not normally told. So having them in a space that is not, I guess, of a higher art level, I think is very interesting and adds more context and a different perspective to look at the work with.
Yet another unlikely art space is upstairs at the Montague Hotel. The Montana Art Project is the hotel's newest offering, encouraging guests to unleash their inner artiste. The paint and sip experience is led by Brisbane street artist Stuart.
We're going to be using stencils, which are, of course, iconic in street art. Particularly, everyone knows Banksy, of course.
Well, I may not meet Banksy's standard, but I'll give it a red-hot go.
During the lesson, we spend like 80% of the time on the background. And we're solid in the knowledge that we're going to come in with the stencils and tighten it all up at the end, get a bomb-proof result.
This is looking a bit like a mess at the moment, but is that the point?
That's the point. That's the point.
I call it red and yellow. Finished.
The final step includes spray cans and stencils. Now for the moment of truth. Drum roll, please.
Oh, wow. Yes. I absolutely love it. Thank you. Who knew I was so talented, hey?
There you go. Thanks for coming.
You knew I was so talented.
I did.
It's surprising how West End can bring out your creative side. Our blog has all the info on how you can enjoy an arty afternoon in this pocket of Brisbane, so make sure you check it out.
Do you remember the simple seaside holidays of old? Relaxed picnics by the bay, walks on the beach, fishing off the jetty. Whether you have fond memories or you're looking to create some, Shawn Cliff has the sleepy seaside vibe down pat. Well, before the boom of the Gold and Sunshine Coasts, this stretch of bay, just 20 minutes from Brisbane, was the place for a day out by the sea. And while the other coastlines have built up, Shawn Cliff has retained its quaint village charm. Well, I don't know about you, but I think in today's fast-paced modern world, we could all use a little step back in time. Rewind Mid-Century can help you do just that. The store is full of gorgeous original mid-century furniture that Colette and her husband James have reupholstered and restored to its former glory. Colette, I feel I have walked into my mum's kitchen in the 60s, 70s. So much colour.
I know. It is a little bit scary sometimes. No one's going to ever accuse me of having a brown furniture store. Sorry, if you're into neutrals, you're in the wrong place.
So what is it about this style, you know, this stepping back in time? But we're not talking antiques, we're talking just retro.
Yeah, I think there's lots of different reasons that mid-century has become very popular. One of them being the recycling aspect. A lot of people like the lightness of the design in modern houses and mid-century houses. A lot of people are blending modern pieces with mid-century pieces, and some people are definitely nostalgic.
Colette and James spend the week restoring the pieces, then upload the 5 or 6 new items to Instagram and bring them out into the showroom every Friday.
So the shop is ever changing.
And you find people walk in and they say, oh my goodness, we used to have one of those, and oh, there's the lounge suite that we used to have.
Yeah. Yes, it's sometimes you get people walking and they swear black and blue that it is actually their parents' piece. I think there's a lot of recognition of things that they've had in the past.
Visitors can also pop in and pick out an unrestored piece from the warehouse, then choose a piece of fabric for their own customs design.
We all get a lot of joy out of it. It's really fascinating buying something in an unrestored condition and bringing it back to having another life.
And speaking of having another life, it's only fitting that this place is tucked away in the old Fisherman's Co-op building on Sindbad Street. It's certainly what you'd call a hidden gem, and it happens to be next door to another.
So we've got some tigers, 25 a kilo, or we've got some crabs or bugs, all last night's catch.
This could be one of Brisbane's best kept secrets. Fishing boats have been collecting the delicious treasures of Moreton Bay for over a century. But not many people know that you can still buy the fresh catch of the day straight from the trawlers at wholesale prices.
So trawlers come in this morning about 7 o'clock. We start selling from 7:30 Wednesday to Saturday.
So only hours ago they were living happily just in Moreton Bay.
They sure were, yes.
Oh, and I can smell it, it's so fresh.
Can't get any fresher than this.
Lucinda Bay is one of the trawlers open to the public and has recently been taken over by the lovely girls who own local restaurant Saltwater. Oh, well, I'll have to have a little sneaky try.
Go for it.
Oh. I'll have 4, 5, maybe 10 dozen. Beautiful. Joanne is another popular trawler. They head out past Moreton Island offshore for 4 days to bring back the freshest ocean catch. Apparently, people come from all over Brisbane for their prawns, bugs and crabs.
Does anyone like our seafood?
Yes. Why? Why? Because it's the freshest and the best.
And according to Bob, Captain Terry is the best in the biz.
He's been doing it since he was 14 years of age, and he won't like me saying, but he's just turned 75.
So he's the seafood whisperer?
He surely is. He's the prawn whisperer.
They come to him.
They come to him, yep. We catch him over the side every now and then. Come on, Terry, back inside.
Joanne is open to the public every Friday to Sunday, but the tip is to get in early Friday or check their Facebook for updates. You'll find a few other trawlers dotted along Sindbad Street, so why not plan a visit as part of your day trip to Shawn Cliff and Sandgate? And it's a real little hidden pocket here, isn't it?
It's a beautiful spot. It's our little secret, but the customers come down to support us, and that's the main thing. But it's a great spot to get a bit of seafood from us. Go down, a lot of people do that, go down by the beach and sit there and eat it on the weekends.
Is there anything better?
Yeah, but I can't say it on here.
We'll have the details on all of the places I visited today on our blog on the Great Day Out website. And if you visit us on Instagram and Facebook, we've got plenty more ideas on how you can enjoy a great day out. Well, what a perfect way to finish a day on the bay, eating freshly caught prawns by the water. I hope I've given you some inspiration to visit this beautiful area, and we'll see you next week for another great day out. What a pity the family aren't here to share.